Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on the Flow of Consciousness YouTube channel. A little bit of a different setup today because I received feedback of a filmmaker friend of mine. Let me do it like this so I can keep talking to you guys. A filmmaker friend of mine who told me that, well, you're there in such a beautiful surroundings and you have a decent camera, so why not make use of the tools you have to make the videos a little bit more enjoyable to watch. And I took his feedback seriously, and I bought I have a small lavalier mic, but I couldn't connect it to the camera, so that's why I didn't record with the camera. But now I got like this tiny little piece that I could put in between, and now I can hopefully record proper sound with my mic, with my camera, in a beautiful setting. So welcome to the new setup. I hope you like it. So this is new. I have to get used to this a little bit because I used to talk to my computer, so this is a different setup. So it's, of course, it takes some time to get used to it. So I think it's cool for you guys to see the process of me getting more comfortable in this setup. So as you can see, I'm a little bit still trying to figure out how to behave. Anyways, the topic I want to talk about today in this video is scarcity vs abundance, scarcity versus abundance mindset. And this is a thing that you will hear often circle around the internet if you're following certain self-development channels, or if you're consuming a lot of self-development content, then the word abundance probably rings a bell for you. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine 2 days ago, it doesn't really matter when, about how you sometimes can find yourself in a place of scarcity, a getter mentality, when you feel like you're in need, like you feel like you're in a stage where you are getting, right? Maybe you lost all your work due to the pandemic, or all your clients canceled their memberships because of economic situation, or you just broke up with your girlfriend, or you find yourself in a place of loss and lack. Then you have to allow yourself to go through a stage where you're in a getting phase. So you want to allow yourself to move through a phase where you experience lack. It's okay to come from a place of lack if you can map out a plan to bring yourself back to a place of abundance, right? So moving from scarcity to abundance can sometimes be really a very tough challenge. Why? Because you find yourself in a place where you lack, right? And there is this law of attraction community and manifestation talks about, well, if you want it, then you lack it. So it's wrong to want it. It's wrong to come from a place of scarcity, to come from a place of need. And I don't think that is right. I don't think that is true. I think that coming from a place of lack and a place of scarcity can be a great motivator for you to get started on the journey to actually then end up in a place of abundance, right? The reason why I share this is because for me and in my personal life, it's always been like that. I felt in a place of lack. I felt in a place of scarcity where I was trying to find ways, to build myself up to a stage where I can then reap the benefits of being in an abundant state, right? So when you find yourself in a place where there is a lack, a certain lack, allow yourself to experience that lack, allow yourself to want more, allow yourself to go out there to get. It's okay. It's not inherently wrong to want to go out there and get something, right? The go-getters, it's not a bad thing. It can be the stepping stone to a life of abundance. It can be the stepping stone to creating a life filled with richness and the things you crave, right? Because craving something is not necessarily a bad thing. If you crave it, if you desire it, this is the motivation for you to go get it, right? Because if you live a desireless life, then what do? Why would you even get up and move? Why would you even do anything if you don't crave and desire something, right? So this idea of desire and craving is a lack, and that's not good. It's a bad place to be in. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that it can be a tremendous source of power to move from this place of lack to a place of abundance. And what does abundance actually mean, right? When you're in a state of abundance, you know that everything you ever want and need is there in abundance. It is available in abundance. It will never run out. The source is infinite, right? And for me personally, I think that love is such a thing. Love is infinite. Love can never run out, right? Money, it's also this in the law of attraction community. Love is money is abundant. Money is energy. Energy is abundant. Love is energy. And money is love, right? Money is an abundant source. I agree. However, the flow of money is very controlled in a way. There is a lot of people who are operating from a space of lack, who are out there to get, and they are trying to hoard money, right? You want to find the nice balance between greed and desire. Hoarding money, hoarding food, hoarding everything, keeping it all to yourself. That is precisely the place where cravings and desire tip over into too much, into a negative kind of energy, you see? So craving and desire in and of itself is not bad. I think that it starts to become a problem when you are hoarding everything, when you're so greedy and you want so much that you cause harm to other people, right? But if you can make this force inside yourself, if you can cultivate this force of desire and craving, if you can cultivate it, and if you can allow it to move you and guide you through a journey which ultimately leads you to a place of abundance where everything you want and crave is there in abundance. So if you are looking for an abundant sense of meaning, right? First you lack it. First you feel that it's not there, and intuitively you feel a sense that, okay, I want to have this. There is a desire to have it, the purpose, the meaning, right? So you go look for it. And on this journey, you will figure out different things that lead you to finding more of that purpose. When eventually, as you progress, you will come to a point, and it's very distracting that there's so many people here, so maybe I have to find another space where I can record these videos. I lost my train of thought. So you will embark on a journey to find this meaning where there was a lack previously, but this lack motivates you to go look for this meaning and purpose. And this is a good thing. However, if you overshoot it and you become greedy with your purpose, you become so stuck and attached to it, then again it starts to, it's like this curve, right? You're rising to the top, and then you reach the top, and then it starts to deteriorate again. You want to actually move across the graph of an asymptote. You want to keep moving up, and then you want to keep going, but you will never reach into the infinite space. You will never reach the ultimate point, as you will, because it's constantly a constant learning, constant growth. So there will never be a point where you arrive at the end destination. No, the end destination is non-existent because reality is infinite, right? At least that's what I believe. Anyways, I digress. I was very distracted by the people leaving the place. So the abundance and scarcity. To conclude, to summarize, I believe that finding yourself in a state of scarcity is not necessarily a bad thing. You should not judge yourself for it, because we all find ourselves in stages of scarcity, of lack, of where we feel like we have not enough, and where we deserve more, and where we want more. And this place is a good starting point, because it can then guide you to a stage, a path, a journey that will lead you to gain more and to go get it. I think it can serve as a very powerful, strong motivator, right? Again, for myself, the lack of the purpose, the lack of the meaning drove me to go look and get get it somewhere, right? Of course, after a while you understand that it's always been inside yourself, and by listening and meditating and looking for things, you will eventually find the answers within yourself. But it's important to go through the experiences of trying to look for it outside, you know, in external circumstances, in external factors, in people, in traveling, in all kinds of ways outside you. I think it's necessary to go through that process, then to come to the conclusion that actually it's about tuning in, tapping into my intuition, tapping into this inner whisper that is inside me all along. It has always been there. You just have to learn to pay attention to it. And it's a process, it's a skill. It's really something that you need to practice and learn, and you'll become better and better at it. And I've told this in a previous video that, for example, I did therapy sessions with a brain spotting specialist, a therapist. Brain spotting is a therapeutic technique where you make use of eye positions in order to access different parts of your brain where trauma can be stored, right? But for me, it was not necessarily about retrieving and processing the trauma. It was way more about the amount of self-awareness and intuition it taught me. My therapist really showed me how I can follow the sensations in my body, follow the thoughts in my mind without any judgment, because I was sitting in front of her and we were doing the therapy sessions, and she guides me through it, and I'm like, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to do. How should I do? She's like, look, you're judging yourself. You're trying to do it perfectly, but there is no way of doing it perfectly. That's exactly why it's so powerful and so useful, right? And then I was like, oh yes, okay, now I understand. I'm really judging myself for trying to do it perfectly, but there is no such a thing. It's about noticing, it's about observing. And this is so interesting that many people, they say, I'm not good at meditation. You cannot be bad at meditation. It's just a matter of observing what is happening. So it's purely just watching, taking a seat and watch, right? So this increased self-awareness, this increased non-judgmental, curious attitude towards myself allows me to tap into the intuition and the knowing that is there, you know? So the knowing that how can I move from scarcity to abundance, it's there. And it knows that it's okay to be in a place of scarcity for a while. It doesn't even have to be a bad thing, you know? It's a good thing, because if you can find the energy that is in this place of scarcity, because scarcity is kind of like it's a knot, it's a resisting, it's some form of resistance, but the resistance is there, it's being held together by some energy. Resistance requires energy, so if you can release that energy, it can catapult you into a journey you've never expected you would ever be able to experience. And maybe you actually do know that you will be able to experience this. It's just fear that's holding you back. So moving from scarcity to abundance is also consistently choosing love over fear, choosing to be brave. And I link back to my video on courage often, because I believe that courage is such an important virtue to cultivate. And courage means to act despite feeling fear. And this means that you actually choose love over fear. So if you do that repeatedly, if you choose to do the thing that scares you the most on a consistent basis, and I'm not saying live fearlessly, no, I'm saying move together with the fear. There is a lot of noise outside, so I hope the audio will not be clipped too much, because of it's so much distractions to do this like this. But I will get used to it, I promise. So this video is just a trial, so bear with me, and they will get better in the future, I promise. It's about practicing. So by choosing love over fear on a consistent basis, you will start to move from scarcity to abundance. But it's important to first remove the judgment you have about being in a scarcity stage, because it's a crucial stage. It's like the grief, the stages of grief. You have to go through all the stages of grief in order to fully complete the cycle. It's the same thing with from moving from scarcity to abundance. You can't expect to be in abundance immediately. So many people, they say, well, you're already in abundance. It's only about remembering that. Yes, however, in the practical day-to-day life, it's not that easy. It's just, oh, all of a sudden I realize, I remember that I'm living in abundance. No, it's not like that. You feel stuck. You feel like you're living in scarcity. You feel like you crave things, that you desire things, that you want things, that you deserve things, that you are in need, that you're needy. You feel like that. People do. I do. So when I do, that means that other people do too, because we're all ultimately one, right? So this is important to not forget, that we are living in a world that is practical, you know? So yes, all these ideas about, oh, you're already perfect the way you are, etc., they can be nice fantasies and utopias, but when the rubber hits the road, it's usually not that useful, right? So what I want to do with talking about these things is giving you more of a grounded approach to these ideas. Yes, going to a stage of abundance is important, of course. However, if it's at the cost of judging yourself for being in a state of scarcity, then I don't think it's a useful set of beliefs to have. I think it's way more empowering to have a set of beliefs that tells you, okay, right now I'm in a getter mode. I'm in a scarcity mindset. I'm in a scarce place. I'm afraid. I am needy. I crave things. I want things, you know. It's okay to be in that stage. Really, it's absolutely okay, because this then will allow you to find solutions and to move out of that stage to a place of abundance. And right now, I can feel that by discovering this project, I feel very abundant. I feel like my energy is endless. I'm waking up every single day at 6 a.m. in the morning. I feel excited about recording these videos. I feel excited about talking about these topics. So I feel in a very abundant place. But before that, it was not at all like that. Not at all. Not in the slightest. So I was suffering. I was struggling. I felt stuck. I recorded so many videos about watch this if you feel stuck. I felt stuck. That's why I recorded those videos, because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to share it. So hopefully you can also accept the fact that you feel stuck sometimes, and you can see that as the process unfolds, you will move from scarcity to abundance. If you remove the judgment about that scarce, needy stage, because it's okay. We all feel in need sometimes. We all feel scared. We all feel like we lack. Everybody does. And the people who say they don't, I think they are either unconscious, delusional, or they are lying, because they're trying to sell you something or whatever it is, right? So you want to embrace the fact that you are in a state of scarcity and that you're in a getter mode. Getting is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing when you start to hoarding and when you're starting to hurt other people, right? So in order to prevent that, you want to increase your awareness. You want to become aware. And if you're aware, then you can make a conscious decision. And I talk about this in another video. Trauma reactions, trauma responses. Basically, it's the same process. Bring your awareness to it, become aware. Then you can exercise your conscious decision-making skills. And this is a crucial skill to develop in your life, because it's applicable in so many different situations. You see that? So on that note, I want to end this video. And I want to thank you for being brave. I want to thank you for paying attention to the words I'm saying, because they will lead you to look inwards and to discover a lot of treasures that are buried inside you. So thank you for paying attention. Thank you for working on yourself. Thank you for making yourself and thus the world a better place, one step at a time. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Talk soon. Bye.